Yeah, quick recap. So SAP installations we are discussing. So how to download the softwares from the service marketplace, what user ID we have to use it. So these things we have discussed. And also we have discussed about the some technical terminology. What is mean by SID, instance number, app server name, host server name. So a network. So something like LAN, WAN. So all these things right? Some technical terms. So yesterday I shared one book. In that book, there are some so we have some information about this technical terminology and everything. So just you can go through one by one. Okay. So that is very helpful. So apart from that, this SID. So we have discussed about the hardware requirement and software requirement. SAP it does not require much hardware and softwares. Much does not require the hardwares. Why? Because it's application. It's not like that HANA we have to carefully plan it's not like the database we have to carefully plan the sizing requirements and everything. So minimum 8 plus GB RAM is enough, but in the real time 16 plus GB RAM for the real time servers and everything. Why? Because the DB and SAP, so we are installing on the one host, one server, so that's why we have to carefully plan it. Then softwares. Here we need more softwares. What are the softwares we required for the SAP installations? To build the SAP system, what are the softwares we required? Anyone can jump in? SWPM.
DB kernel.
Kernel.
Okay. Kernel. Yes.
DB.
Okay.
Host.
DB client.
DB
client. SAP host agent.
Right, SAP host agent. SAP host agent is the small service. It will collect it will gather it will pull the host level data. So that more discussions will happen. So why we are using the SAP host agent. DB client we know, right? So kernel is the OS level binaries. So it's a heart for the SAP systems kernel. So without kernel, SAP system will not be off, right? Without strong basement, we cannot construct any house, right? Same as like without kernel, we cannot build any SAP systems. Same as like exports also. Export is this kind of export is the main here. Why? Because so based upon the product, suppose if you are installing the ECC, you need to download the ECC exports. NetWeaver exports. So S4 here the differentiation will come here. Here the exports may come the differentiation, but this remaining all softwares are common for every installations, right? Same as like in our server we have downloaded the softwares, so we have placed into the C drive. You can see we have the C drive SAP softwares. You can see the SAP softwares here, right? So in the SAP softwares we have the exports are available. We have the ECC exports, NetWeaver exports, then SWPM, kernel. So DB client. So I will rename it like so DB, right? So ECC exports, kernel, ECC, and SAP host agent and SAP GUI. We have the SAP GUI also available. So SAP GUI. So SAP GUI to log into the SAP systems, we need the SAP GUI, right? So it's a presentation layer. It is available in the presentation layer. So it's already available in our desktop SAP GUI. Now let's start with the installation. Let's verify our system first. So go to the properties. You will see what is the host name of our system. So how much RAM we allocated, right? And also space. What is the space allocation we are doing here? So okay, almost 300 GB free space. That is fine, right? 12 GB, minimum 8 plus GB, right? Everything is okay. What about the CPU? We have so how many CPUs are there? If you see here, if you click on the CPU, here we have one socket, so 4 processors are there here, and utilization is also normal. So everything is normal here. So memory, the network, so we have everything is good, right? We have everything is good in the systems, right? Now, so OS requirements we have okay, and space requirements we have okay, and everything NAM network everything is okay, and everything is good now, right? Now let's start with the installations now. Okay, let's start with the installation. So when doing the installation, the first software we have to click the first software we have to open the SWPM, Software Provisioning Manager. Okay, we have the SWPM. There is a SAP INST tab. We have to click it, SAP INST. So if you double click it, SAP INST, it will open the URL in the browser. It will open the URL in the browser. This is the software first we have to open for the installations, right? You have to open for the software for the installations. Okay, so from your case also we open it. Okay, open it. So something it is asking the user ID or some passwords. You can enter the user ID and passwords, right? So when you open it, it will open the URL in the browser. See, in the browser, it's opened the URL, right? Go to the advanced mode, click on the save, unsafe. Then it is asking the user ID. So from which user ID you have started the installation. Okay, then click that user ID and provide the password. Provide the password. So I am using administrator. Then you can use the administrator. So this is the SAP screen. SAP screen. This is the SAP SWPM screen. So we have the welcome screen here. In the welcome screen, so S4HANA S4HANA versions, then NetWeaver versions, NetWeaver 7.5. And so we have everything, like whatever you want to do in the installation, we have everything here. Suppose you want to do the NetWeaver 7.5 installation, or you want to do the business suite installation like CRM, ERP, SCM, SRM, ECC. So you can select any one of this one. You want to do the solution manager installation, this one. You want to build the some other NetWeaver stack like 7.4, MDM systems. So whatever you want to do, you can build the systems here. You can install the systems here, right? You can do the installations of the systems here. Okay, so that is the thing, like SWPM. Using this SWPM is common for all the product installations. But in the SWPM also we have versions. In the SWPM also we have the versions are available. So suppose like we have SWPM 1.0 available and SWPM 2.0 available. So if there is a thumb rule, if the NetWeaver version 7.50 above, you need to use the SWPM 2.0. You have to use it. If it is the below, if there's below or equals to, then you need to use the SWPM 1.0. You have to use it. This is a thumb rule. So sometimes they may ask you questions like when you have to use the SWPM 1.0, SWPM 2.0. If the NetWeaver version, NW means NetWeaver version 7.50, then you need to use the 2.0. So below 1.0, we can use it. So we are using NetWeaver 7.0. So we are using the SWPM 10. 10 means 1.0. As I told you, so all SAP softwares are extension with the .sar. So using the SAP car command, we can uncar it and can extract it. Same way we have done the extraction. Okay. So this is one of the very first question, important question they may ask you sometimes, important point, right? So SWPM, but kernel there we have the versions that will come when time of the kernel upgrades, kernel patch upgrades and everything, right? So, and the exports also, if you are installing ECC, then ECC exports latest version. If you are doing NetWeaver version, which version you are doing NetWeaver version. So those things you need to check and download it, right? So host agent also latest versions. So basically, when you are doing the installations, you need to always go for the latest softwares. You have to download it, which is available in the market. So marketplace, then you need to download, you need to build the systems. You need to download and build the systems here, right? You need to download and build the systems here. That is the what we have to do it here, right? So it's clear. So when we have to use the SWPM and when we have to use the 2.0 and 1.0, right? So now let's start with the, suppose we'll take the simple installation NetWeaver 7.5, right? NetWeaver 7.5 installation. Here we can use the MS SQL Server or MaxDB or DB2. So as I mentioned, SAP can be installed on, this is also done. So the SAP can be installed on any database. Any database we can install it. SAP we can install on the any database we can install it. Either the SQL, either any database, SQL Server, HANA DB, Sybase. So any database we can install on the another. So in this case, we'll take the smallest database for simple installation purpose like SQL Server. So then we can just do the installations. So once you perfect on the Windows, once you perfect this installation on the Windows and some other small databases, then later, so what we can do, so we can do the SAP installations on the Linux with HANA database, we can do that one, right? First you get familiarized on the Windows systems. Once you've done, then we can do the same on the Linux machine also. Okay, don't worry about the why we are discussing on only on the Windows. Okay, we will also discuss on the Linux. First get familiarized the installation on the Windows machine. Then you can get the same work on the Linux machine also. Okay, there is no difference. Okay, so here installations, we are doing the installations of the application server above. Above we are doing the installation. So first you need to select the which version you are doing the installation. For our case, our softwares are the NetWeaver 7.5. Then we are using the SQL Server. Then we are using the SAP installations. Then SAP application server above we are doing the installation. Then you can choose the application server above. So which one we need to choose it here? Either the standard installation, distributed, high availability. So yesterday we discussed, I guess, standard means everything will be on the same host. When you are installing the SAP, there the instances will be created, right? SAP level, 2 instances will be created. So one is the primary application server instance. Second one is the ASCS instance, PAS and ASCS. These are the instances will be created in the SAP side. So PAS and ASCS, these instances will be created. Means these instances, within the host, we will get the 2 instances, SAP 2 instances you will get out, right? One is the database instance, DB level, it will be installed. Okay. So suppose if I talk about this difference of the standard, distributed, and high availability. So there are 3 types of installations, right? One is the standard installation, STD installation. So standard installation means so SAP. So suppose this is your Windows host, right? Windows or Linux host. If you install SAP on this host and DB on this host, this both are called the standard installation. Standard installation means in one host, you don't have that much of budget, and so you have both are in the one host. Both are in the one host means just I told you, right? The synonyms like both are in the one operating system or both are in the one computer. Both are in the one server. So if both are in the one server, SAP application and DB are in the both are in the one server, then that is called the standard installation. Standard installation. So we have to do for standard installation, we have to do that one. So here, apart from that, so suppose the distributed installation means SAP on the one host to DB on the one host. SAP on the one host, DB on the one host. You have the budget to maintain the host, server cost, license, everything. Then you can install on the SAP on the one host and DB on the one host. In this way, there is no burden on the one host on the both the services. This is running on independent. This is running on here. This is running on here. So automatically the connection will create when you are doing the installation on the this one. It will ask the DB server host name. Then database will be installed here. SAP will be installed here. So in this way, if something is down here, this SAP is down, there is no impact on the DB services, right? The DB is down, definitely SAP will go down, but that is a different case. But here, so both are running on independent only. There is no impact on the operating system. The only thing is here, both the operating system licenses support wise. So we have to plan it. That is the distributed installations, right? We have to separately install it, everything on the distributed installation. So that is the distributed. Next one is the high availability. High availability means It's the cluster. The cluster, they will, some customers maybe the mission critical applications or very critical applications, they will go for the so high availability installations. High availability, maybe banking sector, the banking applications, banking servers, all are in the mission critical applications, right? So then, which means mission critical means if the server is down, immediately they will get the loss, full impact. Why? Because the every day, every hour, every minute, their business is going to happen. Suppose if you take the banking sector, so not sure when the person will do the banking. So they will use the banking services, right? Either the phone pay, phone. So when they will use it, not sure, right? If the banking server is down, so we cannot do anything, right? So that is the thing here, right? So that's like maybe it depends upon the your customer, your business, they will use it. So most of that systems, like all non-production systems, they will use the all non-production systems, they will use the so either the standard installation. So production only we have the business, right? Then in the production systems, they will use the some customers, they will use the high availability. Some customers, they will go for the distributed environment, distributed. So distributed environment, they will go for the distributed, right? So here, so high availability means, so suppose if I take the small example of the high availability, so you have the two data centers. This is the primary data center in the one country. So this is the secondary data center on the second country or high availability cluster. So cluster concept, primary and secondary concept. So in the primary we have so SAP. So primary we have the SAP. So suppose here two ways like HADR scenario, DR disaster recovery scenario, or primary secondary scenario. So here what happens? Here there is a clustering concept here. So all will be in the different boxes. All will be in the different ports. They will do the installations. Either the DB on the cluster or SAP on the cluster. So suppose SAP DB. So here there is a cluster packages are installed cluster, either the OS level cluster or everything. All users will connect to the here. If something goes down here, automatically all the services will fail over to the secondary server. Secondary server. So which means there is no downtime. So if the server is down in the primary, immediately the services will switch over, will fail over to the secondary node, so that users can still log in and they can do the work here. Users can log in and they can do the work here. That is called the high availability concept. So which means suppose you are in the A node. Presently the services are connecting to the A node. Then so something goes wrong here. If server is down, automatically the services will fail over to the secondary node. Secondary here the users can start working on this one, right? There is no impact here. Same as like we have the DB side also, we have the clustering concept. And the SAP side also, we have the clustering concept. So the critical most of the customers, it's a big customers, most of the business related customers, they will go for the clustering concept. But because for their production business, for their business system, high availability is the very important, right? So for booking the order, sales orders, purchase orders, the orders are very important. That's why they will go for the clusters, so high availability. So most production systems they will go for them, but otherwise normally they will go for the standard installations. Just click on the standard installation, you will get the SAP roadmap steps here. Right? Here we have to define the parameters. So then we have to review the parameter. Then in this case, here we'll start executing it. So giving our parameters are very important here. Then after that, system will take care of the SAP installation. So just we have to provide the inputs to the SWPM tool. So that this tool can continue the remaining rest of the installations by own. Whatever the inputs you provided, based on that it will create the SAP systems, right? Just click on the next button. So typical or custom. I think yesterday we discussed about this, I think, right? So typical or so this is the way. So this we are doing the installation here. So the before the step comes like typical or custom, like what is that it mean by typical or custom? So typical means you will get the less prompts, you will get the less prompts. Prompts means less inputs it will ask it. But custom means maximum inputs it will ask it. Like suppose password for the all users in a typical selection it will ask, but same screen it will come like password for the one user, password for the other user, all other users password it will ask it. So we have the option to, instead of maintain the same password for all users, we can maintain the individual passwords for all users. We can maintain it. We can maintain it, right? So then I can log into the server. Right, I can log into the server. So then here we will get the, so here our screens come. So like SWPM will work. First time it will ask to log off in the host, then you won't get the any log off option. It will be continued for our case. So now it will open the URL in the browser. Right, so you can just enter the password. Our duty is here just to enter the, start the SWPM tool and select the product, which product you are going to install it. So then giving the inputs, we have to provide the input software downloads and provide the inputs to the SWPM screen, then leave it. That's it. Review the parameters and leave it. So then automatically it will start installing the service in this phase, execute service. Here, main thing you need to remember during the interview point of time or during the discussion, very important point is, so what is the port number for SWPM tool? So it's a very important point for the interview who are going for interviews. So like the port number is for the 4237. 4237 is the port number for the, so this one 4237 is the port number, right? And the installation log files, where can we check the log files, right? Here there is a SAP inst.log file, SAP inst_dev.log file are the very important log files, very so important log files here, right? So very important log files, right? So here, so what is the SID you are going to give here? So SID is the system identifier. Your system must be unique throughout the your landscape, right? So here we need to put the SID here. Suppose if I take the NW, this is we are installing the NetWeaver product, right? Length should be the 3 characters, right? So NetWeaver means suppose like NWP production or NWD development or NWQ quality or NWBP production, whatever it may be. So like that, we can give the SID here. So you can give any SID. So not a problem, but by checking this SID, there should be some naming convention. It should be some meaningful, right? If you give ABC, what is meant by ABC? So there is a naming for ABC. You know that naming, so you can give that the SID also. Why? Because we are doing the installation. So you can put anything, right? We go to the log files. Here you can see the, so SAP inst.log file. Here you have the SAP inst log files are available. So FQDN, we don't have any FQDN fully qualified domain name. Then you can uncheck it out, right? Just click on the next button. Here what we have to do, we have to provide the inputs. Just click on the next button. Provide the input, just click on the next button, right? Here you can see here password for the all users. Then enter the password here. Enter the password here. Then you can enter the password. So previously, when you select the custom option, you won't get this password for all users. One by one, it will ask the passwords. So now we have used the password for all users. Now these are the log files are available in the screens as WPM screen. If you open the one log file, what it is getting installed. So this ask the password of the component. It asks the password. Then domain it is asked. Then details of the components it is asked. Then what is the next step? When it comes to the next step, it will update the log file here, log files here. So what exactly happening in the system, all will be happening. Now, each step the installation load component, then SID change of the component. So execute the fill the context. So all the information it is giving here. See here, all the information it is checking. So now I think it is checking the DB related things here. So given the server is the component, all the information it is checking in the server. It is asking in the server level. It is checking, right? So here we can monitor it. All the passwords it is asked. So all the information, it's a very important log file. SAP INST dot log file is the very important here, right? Now it is checking the connection to and properties of the DB server, right? So database instance, our database instance host name is the SAP Windows, not the Microsoft WD. SAP Windows. Just you can choose the SAP Windows here. See carefully here, right? Just click on the next button. Like a SAP Windows, just click on the next button. So next, if it is the database is up and already available, then it will go to the, it will pass that step, it will go to the next step here. So here, so see here, what is it is asking? Next one is the, see here, logs are getting updated here, right? Next one, it is asking the kernel. So kernel files. Why? Because, so sir, where it is asked for the kernel means SAP exe means kernel. Kernel means it's a SAP exe. So there are the 4 files for the kernel. So go to the C drive. So where you have placed the software C drive. Okay, you have to go to the C drive. Then SAP softwares. So kernel, give the kernel location. Click on OK button. Click on execute button. Right? It will start installing. It will start installation of the here. Right? See. So installation means start extracting the softwares. Whether you downloaded softwares are valid or not, it will check here. See here. So whatever the softwares we have given, see softwares kernel, the softwares it is reading the all the files, it is extracting the all the files. So it is verified. It is verifying or not. So it is verified and the signature is accepted. It is verified. So all the files, whether you downloaded files are valid or not, it will cross check. It will cross check whether you correctly downloaded or is there any corruption occurred in the system or not. It will cross check in the systems. It will cross check. Okay, this is what it will perform in the systems, right? So this is the, see here. So here, so in the landscape, so first of all, everyone should understand so the port number, that is fine. We know SWPM standard port number is the 4237. So there many interview questions. So these questions they have popped up in the every interview or every assignment, every exam, right? So installation log files are the very important. So apart from that, so landscape, we should discuss about the some technical terminology we are using here. What is mean by landscape here? So landscape contains so 3 systems or 4 systems. Each product, suppose if I talk about the ECC product, ECC systems, ECC, we have the 3 or 4 systems they will maintain it: development, quality, and production systems. Minimum is 3 systems landscape. If I talk about the NetWeaver, so NetWeaver products also 3 systems landscape, right? 3 systems landscape. Total 6 systems here in the landscape, right? Suppose if I talk about the PI also 3 systems here, right? If I talk about the, so suppose CRM also 3 systems landscape here, 3 systems landscape here. So it's a development. So all systems are the development, dev. So suppose like quality assurance system and production system. So in the real time scenario, we have each product like each technology. So we have 3 systems landscape. So why? Because in the developers, why? Because we cannot do everything in the one system. All activities like our basis activities, business users related activities, development related activities, testing activities, we cannot do everything in the one server. Why? Because the production systems are the critical here. All business users, they will connect to the production systems only. They will do the transactions. They will do the transactions here in the all the business production systems, right? So if something goes wrong here, when you are developing the code, something wrong, if the production is down, it will impact their business, live business, and the business get impacted. So that's the reason they are separating the so their work. So all developers, they have to do the development work, means same SAP system, they will build it with a different SID. They have to do the, in that SID, they have to do the all the development activities. Then they will ask basis team to move the changes to the quality. Then quality, they will do the testing activity. Before they proceed with the production activity, they will do the testing in the quality system. Then they will go for the production activity. Suppose if I take example, one example here, so Amazon. So we all are using the Amazon, booking the sales, booking the order, some things we are booking in the Amazon, right? So if the developers also, they are logging into the Amazon server, if they do something, if the Amazon is down, why? Because development activities, testing activities, not sure what is the, why? Because they are developing the new option in the Amazon. Suppose like voice recognition booking or something like that. So they are booking the one new option. For that one, they need to write the code. So if they directly write the production, which we are using now currently in the apps or mobile Amazon.com, they are directly using in Amazon. So site, if something goes wrong here, where they are the people are booking the orders here, then we are, so we are also logged into the system and we are also testing and we are also doing the development activities on the same server. If something wrong, entire server is crashed, which means so people cannot book the any orders, right? It may affect it. That's the reason they will separate the development activities in same system. They will build it here, same system they will build it in the quality. Three systems should be the same size. Maybe production is the very high, maybe configuration perspective, very configuration is same. Then here they will do the development activities, then separately. Then they will ask basis team to move to the quality. In the quality, they will do the quality assurance, testing and everything. Then they will go for the production activities. So here our case is we need to build the three systems and we need to change the role to the development, client, production and everything. Three systems we have to maintain it. Three systems we need to patch it. So all activities we have to do it in the three systems. So now let's see if kernel is done. We'll come back with the same discussion once we give the inputs of the here, right? So kernel we provided. When you provide the kernel, so then it's read the kernel, then it see all files are available. So that all files are available, then click on the next button. So that when you click on the next button, it will go for the next step. Now kernel given, DB parameters with DB we have chosen, kernel given, SWPM. Now we have only one thing is left, SAP host agent and so exports. Those things we have to provide the inputs here, right? That we will provide it. So now it is checking. Now prerequisites, setting the system local address, IP details, everything it is checking here. Now prerequisites checker results carefully. So they're saying that swap we have to allocate it. That much is not required. Then no fair skipping. Prerequisites we can skip it. So real time, but definitely you need to allocate the some swap for the. So swap means some virtual memory we have to allocate it. That later also we can allocate it. Why? Because we have enough space. Later also we can allocate it. Now it is asking the SAP host agent. So if you don't have softwares downloaded in upfront, then what? Again, we need to download it now, right? That's why we have upfront. So in before, as part of the preparation, we have downloaded the softwares, SAP softwares we have downloaded. We have given the host agent also we have selected, we have given, right? So this is the thing, right? Same way. So landscape means each landscape we have the three systems: development, quality, production. So in also ECC, NetWeaver. So some other products also we have. Each system you have to maintain. That's why we have the SAP systems list is the very huge number of SIDs. We have to choose it. Why? Because because we have to. So if you are using the number of products means for there you need to use the development systems, quality systems, and production systems. You have to build it, right? So some our simple landscape only. So we are using the four products. We have the 12 system, 12 SIDs we are installing now. 12 SIDs we are installing, right? So that is the same concept in the real time also. Real time it's more concepts we have to install it, right? So here it is available. Available means it's taken. Then click on the next button. So here our role is we need to click the next button. Just to provide the input, click the next button, provide the input, click the next button. That is what remaining everything SWPM will take care of. But what we have to give, we have to feed the inputs to SWPM to check this one and that one. Like that, we have to feed the inputs, right? So this is the landscape. This is the landscape perspective. Landscape. Okay, what is your landscape? They may ask you questions, right? My landscape contains development, quality, production, something like that. So what are the products you are using? So we are using, like, otherwise if they ask you what is your land, my landscape contains ECC, BW, CRM, SCM, SRM, so PO and portal systems. Each system, each product, we have the three systems landscape like development, quality, pre-prod, production, something like that. We have activities. Like that, we can differentiate it activities. Suppose if you take the showroom. So if you go to the one car showroom, only the delivery it is available in the showroom. But manufacturing is in the one unit and testing is in the testing unit. Then finally they'll deliver it to the showrooms. In the showrooms, in the showroom go down, you can go ahead and you can purchase the new car from here. Suppose if the cars manufacturing in the same place, testing also in the same place, so you are going to booking here, same place, there will be a clash, right? So that's the reason there should not be the separate activities in the separate areas. They will decide it, right? That is the one. So now it is asking the exports, installation exports. That exports we downloaded already, right? It is available in the C and SAP softwares. Then exports, NetWeaver exports, right? Select that NetWeaver exports. Then click on the OK button. Click on the next button, right? So NetWeaver exports all the very small exports. Easily we can do the installation within 1 hour, 2 hours. We can perform the installation. But ECC installation 11 export may take some time, 4 hours, 5 hours. For S4 installation may take like 30 exports. It may take 7 hours or 8 hours. It may take. So like that, the depends upon the exports. Exports are the main here. All SAP data, the default data contains in the exports only, right? So here all the exports will be available here. So let's say it is reading. See here, so when you just click on the refresh button, just go to the SAP INST. See here, so you have chosen the path like C softwares, NetWeaver exports. Then it is reading. Export one is signed and exported. Then we have the 3 exports. So it will read it and it will scan it. It will verify it. If something goes wrong, immediately it will detect the errors, right? Immediately it will detect the errors here, right? So this is the exports here. So the next one, let's see here. It's verifying. Today, you see, there are no disconnections today. So server disconnections. So maybe only sometimes it is happening. So it is happening. So it is verifying. You can see each and everything. It is verifying. Verifying means it will cross check whether you downloaded correctly or not. If any corruption is happened or not, it will correct. It will cross check everything. It will cross check everything. It will cross check. So then export 1, signed and accepted, verified successfully. Now export 3, then 2, like that. So we have many exports are there. That many exports, it will verify it and it will sign it. So at operating system level, if you want to see the logs, you go to the C program files. So SAP INST installation directory 750 MSS install. You don't need to remember all those things. Just you can say like, where can we see the installation log files at the operating system level? Just say C program files SAP INST installation directory. That's it. Okay. So here we can see files are there. SAP INST file, same SAP INST file dot log file. So same if you open it. So all whatever it is showing there, same here. Export 2 verified successfully. Export 3 verified successfully. Now open this file and you can see export 2 accepted. Same way. Same log file also here also. Same see here. Same log file also here also. Right? So it is same. So now it's done. It's verified successfully. Now let's go to the next step here. It will ask it. Until then, you have the options like this option, it won't enable it. Once this is okay, SWPM is okay, then only it will give the highlight button, like next button. Until then, so we have to wait for the next. So here, how many data files you want to create it to store the data? Our this small system, I can choose the small. If you want to choose medium, you can choose the medium. So ours is the small system, right? small system, 8 CPU cores or less, then we can use the small. For small system, small business, then we can use the small. So that depends upon the product, you can choose it. So later, if you want to increase, we can use it or increase it also, not a problem. Ours is a small, then I choose the small. Yes. So here table. So declustering coupling option to implement the new standard SAP database layout. So it is saying that enable the declustering. There is no option to don't declose also. Just click on the next button. So we have given all the inputs, exports, kernel, as SAP host agent, DB, all these things we have given. Now we need to choose the next button only. So this is for the maximum number of parallel jobs. So suppose like export import time. If you increase the process like here 25 jobs will be started. If you increase the jobs like 25, then 20 immediately it will complete it. But the thing is here we should check the CPUs also, how many number of CPUs we have. So based on that, we need to increase this here. If you want to increase the jobs, these are the jobs actually, parallel jobs, export jobs. So what is the advantage of these jobs means we have the exports, right? This exports will be imported. This exports will be imported into the SAP systems. So we will get the default data. This will take longer step actually. Import above step. So that is the step. It will in the task list. That is the step actually. So here it may take some time here. That's the reason. So here we will choose the default option 3. So it depends upon the CPU core. Suppose if you go to the task manager, we will get the performance. You will get to go to the CPU. Then how many cores we have? So based upon the CPU cores, we have the 4. Then we chosen the 3. So that's fine, right? So then what is the? So now we see here it is asking the instance number and instance. So what is the pass instance number? Primary application server 00. By default, it's taken. So secondary instance number 01, 0001. Or you can change it. Still, you can change it to the 10 or 11 or 00. You can put it out. Still, you can change it. So not a problem. You can change. So you can change it to the. So whatever you want, you can change it. So or you can just keep it the same default one. So those are the instances. Two instances. Two instance numbers will be created. It's taken. Two instances will be created after the installation. So next screen is the SLD. You want to SLD destinations. You have any SLD? So nothing. Just click on the no SLD option. So most of the things we have to click the just click next buttons only. Whenever it is asking the input, that time you have to provide the input. Just click on the next button. So what it is doing, it is collecting the our inputs here. It is collecting the our inputs here. Okay, it is collecting the our inputs here. So that is the thing. So here, I think we have second batch students are joined. So please just hold for 5 minutes. So we are going to complete this one. Then we can start we can start our next class immediately. So it is asking the key. The storage key will be encrypted. Why this is key means? So whenever anything wrong, so that we can restore the using the this entire system we can restore using this key values, right? That is what. So we need to just keys generating for the each SID. Then we have chosen the OK. We have noted the and we have clicked on the no OK button. You can see what it is asking. what is happening and everything, all the details here. I think we are about to come summary. Okay, fine. We got it now. See here, now it went to the review parameter section. So define parameter section, we have defined all the parameters. Review parameters, just review the whatever you have selected. You have chosen the typical SID and a master password, database, and kernel you have chosen, and host agent you have chosen, database files you have chosen, number of jobs you have chosen, host instance numbers, instance number you have chosen for the ASCS. Two instances will be created during the SAP by default. But one is the ASCS instance, one is the PAS instance. What is this by instance means? I will tell you. So, here, these are the things. So here something goes wrong. You have wrongly provided the inputs. You want to go back. Then just you have the revise option, right? Just you can select it. You can select it. You can go for the revise. You can select it. You want to go for the revise. Revise means you will go to the here and you can change it. You can change it still here, review parameter section. Then if you click on the next button, then it will start installing the your SAP systems. Now it will go to the execute step. So then it will start the installing your SAP system. So from here onwards, we don't require to any inputs here. System will take care of the all the installation activities and everything here. System will take care of the installation. See here, now it is doing the installation, creating the users, everything. It will take care of the all these things here. So here there is a step import above step. This step may take the longer time actually. Okay, so this is a step. So you can observe it. So whenever you see, but I'm canceling this one because you have to install it, not I have to. So you have to install it. Then start the installation from your end. Let's see. Okay, here I will allocate the one person for you, so that if you have any doubts, or you can also contact me. I can immediately guide you. Okay. So the only thing is here, multiple persons at a time cannot be performed the installations here. Only one by one, we have to do the installation. One by one, we have to perform the installation. So once one person is completed, one more person. One person is completed, one more person. Why? Because within the same, multiple people can log in, multiple can log into the SAP system, they can do the work. Only installations in one host at a time, only one person has to perform. So that's why you can use the NetWeaver exports for finishing early. Then don't choose the ECC export, NetWeaver export, you can finish it. Provide the inputs, just ignore it. Then once you review parameter section, just you can cancel it. Then others can do. Finally, end of the day, once everyone practices the giving the inputs and everything, the finally you can do the night, you can do the installations. So then tomorrow our class time installation will be done. Then after that, after installation, what we have to do, that we will discuss. Okay. So start with the version. Here we have Parimala. So is the contact person for you for the installation or for any doubts. So she will guide you. Okay. So she will take the classes if required. Okay. So you guys, so please reach out to her.